Vas-y, c'est parti.
10, 9, ignition sequence start.
Hello there and happy Thursday. This is Loretta Cernowski with Got Spouse Need House, and we have another episode of the Wedding Blueprint. If you're wondering what Got Spouse Need House is, you haven't watched any of our podcasts before. We are associated with real estate companies right across North America, and our team of realtors specializes in working with newlyweds and engaged couples. And when they decide to purchase or sell a home, the realtor actually gives them a a credit on closing of 10% on their closing, which we know that weddings and all those things are expensive. So hopefully after the wedding or even before, this helps you out a little bit. In the meantime, our podcast focuses on finding very competent, amazing people all over the globe that are resources for you as you're going through your wedding process. And today we have a very interesting guest from one of my favorite cities, Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome to Laurie Montgomery from Fanciful Ink.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So tell me a little bit about how you became drawn to the world of graphic design and illustration.
I just always loved to draw, and ever since I was a little girl, and being creative was just something that I felt like I had to do. I had to get it out. So I didn't really know a lot about graphic design other than just wanting to create. And all throughout high school, I took art classes. And my sweet art teacher, who has since passed away in high school, really encouraged me to look into graphic design and pursuing that as my major in college once I went. And I'm really glad I listened to him because I've been working as a graphic designer since my junior year of college. So It's been a while. I worked for a local magazine while I was in college, and then there was another branch of that same magazine here in Nashville, and I became the art director a week after I graduated from college. So I moved here and did that for a little bit, and then just sort of snowballed from there a little bit.
So you're busy then?
I'm busy. I'm usually pretty busy.
That's a great thing. Yeah. So how did Fanciful Ink get started exactly? Was it always Fanciful Ink?
It was always called Fanciful Ink. I kind of in my early to mid 20s was in this like 5-year window of life where my friends were getting married and I was designing their wedding invitations and designing my own. And I feel like at the time that was kind of early, like 2010, like that early, like teenage years of 2000s, very much wedding invitations were a lot different. They were a little bit still sort of traditional and kind of stuffy. And that's when a lot of people were really wanting to bring in a lot of personal details and really tell their story through the very first piece of the decoration for their wedding that people will see. My college best friend was the first person I made an invitation for, so that was kind of fun. And then I went on to do several other friends' invitations, and then, like I said, my own back in 2012. So it's been going on off and on for a while. I had it just sort of cooking on the side for a little bit, and then took the business full time in 2017, I think. So.
Mm-hmm. And how did you choose the name?
The name, I felt like kind of what I just said, like invitations were a little stuffy at the time. And yes, weddings are fancy, but I kind of wanted to pull in a little bit more of a whimsical element. Because I was pulling in so many fun details for couples. I really wanted that to be reflected in the name. I wanted it to be simple and kind of punchy, and yeah, weddings could be fancy, but let's make it a little bit more fanciful and a little bit more fun.
So when it comes to what you do for weddings, can you walk us through exactly what that is?
Yeah. So I hand draw all of my designs. So I don't use like templates or any other artwork from any other artist unless the artist is my client. I actually have one on my wall out here where the bride was an artist. And so we used all of her artwork.
Oh, cool.
And that was actually a lot of fun. It was really nice to see somebody else's design meshing with mine as well. And so that was really fun, but I also make it a point to not ever use somebody else's artwork unless it is something special to the couple. So I hand draw everything. So if you see like a flower bouquet on an invitation, I hand draw like each individual flower and then put it together. You know, I have a lot of people who do wedding venue photos or illustrations of their wedding venue, and then I've done, you know, illustrations of the couples that they include. It's a lot of fun to just really start from scratch with every single client and create what their vision is.
And so what kind of material, like, do you use like a pencil or charcoal or?
I actually do everything digitally. I do digital. I use Procreate pretty much all the time. It's a lot easier to edit when clients come back with a lot of edits. It's easier to do that rather than if I had painted it with, you know, a paintbrush. That would be a lot harder. And with digital, it takes a lot less time than waiting for paint to dry or, you know.
Right.
So I use Procreate pretty much the majority of the time. And it's really nice because having studied art, it does really truly feel like you are working with whatever medium you're choosing through the program. So it's really nice. I've also like hand painted some invitations before. I have one that was a hand painted acrylic invitation. So it's been a lot of different mediums. But I typically do like a sketched kind of style or more of like a painted style.
So when you do all your invitations and stuff, do you just keep those as kind of like a people can choose one that you've done before or no?
They can be inspired by it, but I always like to create something brand new for the couple because for me, it's definitely about connecting with that couple and really pulling out all of their personal details and putting them onto this tiny piece of artwork for them. So they absolutely, if they love, you know, the layout of something or love the style of something, I love having couples be inspired by past work that was mine instead of pulling something out of
and then it's special to them.
Absolutely.
So walk us through couples getting married. They reach out to you. What are the next steps? How does it all get put together?
I really like to meet the couple in person, whether that's on a video screen if they're not local to Nashville or can't, you know, come into my studio. But I think with paper, it's really important to like feel the texture and the quality of the paper. So I love meeting in person. You just really get a good vibe of who you're working with, and you kind of feel like you're on the same page a little bit better that way. So once we meet and decide on the vibe of everything, the vibe of them as a couple, and then the vibe of like what they're doing throughout their wedding day. Once we determine all of that, after I source out quotes and they sign their design contract and pay their design fee, I get started on any drawings that I have to do. I usually send different sets of really curated fonts to each client so that they can really look and see how their names look in a certain font, or you know, how they might want to word it in a different way, and really guide them through that whole process as well. And then all of our proofs are digital until until it's time to order, or if we have plenty of time, I usually recommend definitely getting a printed sample so that you can see how the colors look together and how the print quality is and how the paper feels. So there's a lot of different steps that are lovingly created throughout the whole process, just making changes and really honing in on all the details that they want involved.
And so what kind of a timeline is that?
I like to have at least 3 to 4 months ahead of the wedding date. Longer is always better because that gives you more time to really not be stressed. For me to not be stressed and for the couple to not be stressed as well. And you have to kind of like work a little bit backwards. So once you have your wedding date set, typically you send invitations out anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks in advance. Some people are even opting for a little bit longer. So you kind of have to backtrack a little bit and then allow plenty of time for production. And of course, plenty of time for all of the illustrations to get done, all of the layout and all of the changes to happen. So it's not a super lengthy process, but it definitely has a time crunch sometimes.
Well, yeah, because if they don't have the invitation,
yeah, they're not going to know.
Not going to work out too well.
That is true.
So, do you have like certain favorite kind of designs or trends? Is there such a thing as like a trend in invitations now?
I think so. I have surprisingly done a lot of, maybe it's surprising to me because it's not like a color I necessarily would choose, but I have been very much enjoying it. But there has been a lot of brown and a lot of like neutral taupes and like a rich chocolate brown. Actually just did a really pretty velvet brown. It's actually right here behind me if you're
nice.
If you can see it.
Yeah.
And it just really is nice and warm and different. I've also done a lot of green lately, just like a really pretty sage green. So I feel like color trends tend to happen quite often. But then on the flip side, I've also seen a lot of like cool color combinations being used. A lot of different bright colors. I just did one recently over here that's displayed on my wall that's like a bright yellow and a pale pink and an orange and a navy. So like really pulling in a lot of fun colors that you wouldn't totally expect together. And I've also seen a lot of people getting a little bit more bold with shapes. You think of a wedding invitation as being a rectangle, and a lot of them definitely still are, but I feel like a lot of invitations are taking on a different shape. I just did one that was a scalloped that was really pretty. Ovals are kind of having a moment as well, so that's a really fun, unexpected way to still keep it really classy and really cool, but definitely like a little bit outside of the rectangular box.
So does everyone still mail out invitations, or is there such a thing as digital invitations now?
I have not actually done any digital invitations. I think printing, having that invitation in your hand is still the way to go.
I think so too. It's more classy, right?
It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more unexpected. Not unexpected, it is expected, but when you are getting your mail for the day, you're usually throwing away a ton of, junk mail. And then you get this really beautiful paper invitation in the mail, and that's what's unexpected. That's what the part is.
Still, I know as a realtor, I send out handwritten cards all the time. Just say, hope you're having a great summer, enjoy the rest of your vacation or whatever. I think people still much prefer, it just means something more special to them to get something in the mail.
Absolutely. It just means that somebody took 5 minutes of their day to like write something to you. Yeah. And to think of you when you're getting an invitation in the mail, instead of just, hey, here's an email or here's a text message. We're getting married this time. So
have you had couples that come to you with, oh, we made this mistake, or, what kinds of errors do you see couples making that maybe you, with our podcast, you could help some people avoid?
I do not want to ever take away from wedding websites who have templates, because there are beautiful ones out there, like especially Minted, where local artists are supported. But I have had a lot of couples come to me where they wanted something that they could customize a lot more. It's usually a scenario of they got their save the dates from somewhere online and then really wanted something a lot more elevated once they saw the paper quality or the print quality. And a lot of couples are really, really wanting to pull all of their details into their invitation, so that you don't have to think about anything other than maybe going to a website and looking at even more information. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun elements.
And do you have a storefront in Nashville?
I do. I'm by appointment only, but this is it. This is my studio, and I come here a lot just to work, or any meetings in person happen here, just so everybody can see the different types of invitations, the different options that there are. It's a lot of fun to watch people sit down with paper and like kind of play with color and kind of like just watch their wheels turn and be like, okay, I think this is what I want, even though I'm looking at a lot of different styles up here.
And so do you have all of your products online on your website too?
I do. I put all of my most recent work on my website and also on my Instagram and Facebook as well. So anything that I have done recently, although I am a little bit backed up in taking photos of everything, I make sure I put it on there because everything is so unique, and each couple has their own style. So it's fun to work with.
And do you have clients that are not in Nashville from other states?
Yeah, I do. A lot of my clients are from Nashville, but a lot of them are not as well. So that's when, getting to know each other over the phone or over a video conference call really, really helps, because I know that they can't touch the paper in person, but I'll usually send like samples of paper to them, or and I've never really had a problem. It's not that much different than working with somebody right here in front of me.
Sure. And what's your favorite invitation that you've designed?
Oh man, that's really hard. That is really hard to pick because I've had a lot of velvet lately, which has been really fun. I actually had it was in 2022. I was like very pregnant at the time. So for me, it's about connecting with the client, and I was really having a lot of fun with this one client who had the most fun, brightly colored, all letterpress wedding invitation. It's actually right here behind me. I love it so much. I just keep it here. Very quirky little details in the text, and just really outside of the norm of what I typically do, because I do a lot of florals. As much as I love it, it is fun to do something a little bit different. And she was such a delight to work with that I think that makes me love her invitation suite a lot more. And she would come, pick up. We did like a lot of day of things, and once they came in, she would come pick them up from my house because she actually didn't live very far. And it was just a lot of fun working with her, and she actually invited my husband and me to her wedding because she was like, look, we've had last minute cancellations, why don't you come? And I'm like, why not? I mean, I'm about to, like, I could have a baby at your wedding, but hey, yeah, let's do that. And we went. We knew no one other than her, and it was so much fun. So for me, it's a lot about the connection of who I'm meeting and having a connection with. Actually, one of my very best friends came from her being a client for me first, and then we got connected over like another invitation that she did a few years down the road, and then it just sort of was a natural friendship, and she's one of my closest friends now. So it's been a lot of fun creating for people who are special like that. And not that, I mean, all my clients are special, but some of them just tend to be a little bit more special than others. But I do have a lot of really, really fun invitations right now. My cousin is actually getting married next month, so I just did their invitation. So that was special. And I have one coming up that I'm actually about to start working on. That is a building in Union Station in downtown Nashville that's really beautiful. I actually had my reception there, but we're creating this really cool laser cut of the whole entire building, where the clock tower that it's pretty famous for will pull out of the invitation and have information on it. So I'm really excited about that one, where it's kind of, again, not that like rectangular 5 by 7 shape. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot more interactive, a lot more fun for the guests to really play with. So I'm excited. I feel like that one's going to be my new favorite.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So if you could design anybody's wedding invitation, celebrity-wise or whatever, whose would you design?
Oh gosh. I don't even know who's getting married right now, celebrity-wise. I have done a few celebrities.
What if they're already married? Like,
oh, okay. Oh my gosh. I really don't know. Yeah, that one has stumped me. I'm gonna have to come back to that one.
Would it be someone who's like a country star since you're in Nashville?
I mean, I don't think that this would ever happen, but if Queen Dolly got married again, I would love to do her wedding invitation, just to sit down and talk to her.
Right.
I know her husband passed away recently, so that's probably not something on her radar, but I mean, that would probably be the ultimate dream client, Dolly Parton.
Yeah, that would be a cool invitation, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she doesn't even have to get married. She can just have a party. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you do other things besides wedding invitations?
I do. I have a lot of clients who are small business owners who came to me for branding and logo design, and I really love that. I love supporting small businesses and creating for small businesses. So I have a lot of really fun logo designs that I've created. I've done just sort of general graphic design for people before too, but having something lasting like their logo really lights me up, and I really love creating an overall brand for different companies. So I do that as well. I feel like I've kind of gotten a little bit pigeonholed into the wedding world, but I have several art prints that are available on my website and that I'm also currently working on. So I'm actually hoping to license a lot of artwork soon. Fingers crossed. So, I mean, I would love, you talked about dream clients. I would love to see my artwork in places like Anthropologie or Hugo and West or something like that. Like wallpaper would be my dream goal, is to just like get it a little bit bigger than a wedding invitation.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah. Well, just keep working on it.
I am. Yeah, I'm every day. as much as I can with a 2.5-year-old little girl. Yeah.
Is that your only child so far?
Yeah.
Terrible twos.
She's been really not that bad. I mean, there are moments for sure, but she's.
What's her name?
Isla Rose.
Oh, cute. What a cute name. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Laurie, for coming on today. It was very informative. I'm sure there's lots of brides out there who are going to be very excited to know that there is this option out there for them, that there's other places besides Staples.
Please don't go to Staples. No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
How can people find you We will post these as well on Facebook and our YouTube channel as well. But for those of people watching right now, how can they find you?
I'm Fanciful Ink everywhere. INK, not INC. So Instagram and Facebook, Fanciful Ink, and then my website is fancifulinkdesign.com. So,
That's
and you
great.
can find there's a shop section there where you can find different art prints, and I have like a few little t-shirts and stuff. So a lot of fun little things. I actually have a monthly newsletter that you can sign up for on my website too. And I send out a lot of, I think, really fun free things for newsletter subscribers. They also have options to buy some stuff too, but I never expect them to. I always want to give them like meaningful things to download and have. So
that's great. Thank you so much. Once again, everyone, it's Loretta Cernowski, Got Spouse Need House. Our website's gotspouseneedhouse.com. You can reach us anytime. We're right across North America. So we'll stay tuned next week. I believe we have a travel agent on next week. And if you're in someplace warm like me, you can escape to someplace cooler for a destination wedding. Or if you're someplace that's cold, then you can go someplace warm for a destination wedding or stay right where you are. But anyway, she'll be very interesting as well. So everyone enjoy your weekend and have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks again, Laurie.
Thank you so much.